Many of us have cupboards and shelves full of antiques and older items, and sometimes a very rare collectible surfaces. Evan Duke is the owner of Coins, Loans, and Collectibles by Classic Creations, and he's back along with Charles Duke. Great to see you both again.
Glad to be back.
You brought an example of a true treasure. Tell us what you brought to show us.
Okay, and I'll let Dad interject at any point where I miss something. But basically, this is a French bird box.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and pick it up. We'll get a shot of it in your hand.
So this is made, they started making these, I think the first record is like 1740s, 1760s or something like that. And this is what they used in the house as entertainment. As Linda, when we were talking before the segment, she said, well, that's right. They didn't have TV, they didn't have radio. They sat and listened to the bird box. And that's what they did.
Yeah, before television, that's hard to imagine.
So this particular one was made in 1880s, somewhere around there.
All right. Is that real gold?
It's not gold. This is like a gilded base metal. You see these in gold. You see them in 18 karat gold. You see them with real fine, fancy, pretty enamel. All different kinds of specimens, and they range in price all over the board. You've seen these things that go in the hundreds of thousands of dollar range.
All right, now show us what it does. And it's going to be a little finicky because it's from 1880, and I'd be finicky as well at that point.
It's finicky. It needs a little...
So you have to wind it up?
So we're going to wind it.
So kind of like a music box.
Well, that's the way they did in the old days,
And we're going to put the little sucker down, and we're going to hope that he does his job.
This was
handmade
too.
Oh, it's handmade.
All handmade. Oh my God.
Come on, little guy. Oh my word.
Let's see. Give it a little love.
Come on.
Here, we're going to turn.
Here's what we did last time.
There we go.
There we go. Look at the bird, and his little wings are flying.
He's talking. His little wings are flapping. His beak is moving.
And the whole family's sitting around watching and talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that cool?
He looks real, though. He really does.
It's called a bird box.
It's called a bird box.
And then it kind of moves around.
Yeah, so he moves around. He's flapping his wings, he's talking, and then when he's done,
there too. It's actual bird
he
feathers.
just kind of
bird feathers on there.
He closes up and he goes back to sleep.
Oh, my!
And it even worked for us today, which is cool.
Yes, which we are happy about. So where in the world did you get something from the 1880s?
So we see a lot of old stuff, and
so Grandma inherited it from her grandma,
and this is something we've had around the store for quite some time. Dad bought it. It's questionable between us who owns it at this point.
You or your dad?
Yeah, it's questionable whose money we use to buy it, but that's not important here.
I know who will win this argument.
Yeah, I will.
We'll discuss it.
We only have 5 minutes. You're going to have to discuss it later.
Fair enough. So that's something that, and these things show up. People have these in the drawer. My grandmother had this. Where did it come from? I have no idea what this piece of junk is. And they walk in with these things, and my eyeballs just get big because I know what it is.
You know what it is.
And then I show them a little demonstration what goes on, like I just showed you, and someone's like, I never knew that happened.
Right, they just thought it was some old piece of tin.
Right, you would know the little birds in there.
Fact. So we see a lot of that different stuff. This is the kind of stuff that, quite frankly, you know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
This excites you guys.
It excites us, and we kind of hoard things like this because they're cool. You could
but
sell
you're not the only ones. You hoard it for a reason because you understand that it's rare. Linda, how many of us, I mean, do you have things from your mom and your grandma?
And my grandmother would have been way back in the 1880s. So these would, but I don't know what they are. I mean, you know, they're just things.
To you, it might have just been a box, and that's why I think this is such a cool story. Because how many of us have things that have been handed down? I shove mine in the back of my brake front and just figure, well, I shouldn't get rid of it. It's from grandma, but I don't really know what it is.
Correct.
So
it happens all day long.
These may be really valuable, cool things that we should be either getting money at or at least recognizing the value of.
And knowing what you have. So even if it's not something that you want to sell, but you need to take care of it correctly, store it properly, that type of thing. So later on down the road, these heirlooms continue to go on, and they're not lost. They don't get put by the wayside, thrown in the garbage.
So the moral of the story is don't get rid of anything heirloomy without at least bringing in and having you check it.
And that's part of our daily speech all day long. As people come in the store and I tell them and they're going through stuff, is bring it in. Let us look at it. Our job is to know what's valuable and what's not valuable before you throw it away, because we hear stories of this type of thing. Well, I had one of those. What's it worth? Well, it's $1,000. I threw it in the trash. I had no
Yeah,
idea.
right.
And it happens all the time. It truly does. And I can't stress that enough. Bring that stuff in. Let us look at it. It doesn't cost you anything for us to look.
Right.
A little bit of your time, a little bit of our time, but we never know what we're going to find.
And by the way, they secretly love looking at it.
Yes.
I've already learned that. So nothing better than to see the
They
cool
always
stuff.
said there was hidden treasure in Florida.
Yeah,
And
that's
here it
right.
is.
There may be hidden treasure
Classic
in your
Creations.
cupboards. All right. Bring the coins, bring the collectibles, bring the things that Grandma and Great-Grandma left you, because you never know what kind of history you could be holding on to. And you can take them all to Classic Creations. And for more information on where they are and what they do, you can go to classiccreationsjewelers.com. We'll be right back.